Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
I've spent a lot of time on the subject, and I've talked about it to the people close to me or around me. And for about 10 years, people that were close to me had to live with this and also live with the chaos that I created because I didn't know how to handle it. If you get married, half of you, or I think it's over half now, are going to wind up in divorce. Such an exact word, divorce. You know, there's no coming back from it. They're divorce. Even the word sounds scary. But I'm in a situation where the divorce was the best thing that ever happened to me and the worst thing that ever happened to me. And let me explain why. You know somebody right now that has been divorced, probably a couple people. You know somebody that's in the middle of a divorce, and you also know somebody headed to or getting out of a divorce. So that sounds, unromantic or whatever. And I love the movie When Harry Met Sally, because they actually reference people that have been in relationships for a long time, because they work together, they have compromise, and really it's that joint union, that relationship is it's set up for long term. And quite frankly, with people's attention spans and all the shiny objects that are out there and the lack of coping skills and communication skills and all the issues that come up for reasons why, any couple gets into a divorce, it's never really good going through it. I don't think it is, because it's the end of something. I should probably look up and see what the word means, huh? To me, it means pain, agony. It means financial ruin. It means substance abuse, relationship abuse. It just means a lot of negative things. But why am I talking about it now? I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about how people, they have such a hard time getting through divorce. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's kind of what started the whole thing for me with the No Comfort Zone, is I wasn't able to handle my own divorce. When somebody else said to me, I'm out of the relationship, you're out, and I'm going somewhere else and going to be with somebody else. Was I that bad of a person? Probably. Did I put all my eggs in one basket? I identified myself in the relationship. That's a terrible place to be. I've written this book, The No Comfort Zone, a reality check. I've probably written it 5 times and deleted it. Now I'm back at it again, and it's one of the chapters I talk about is going through divorce. And when I heard it on the other person's podcast, I thought to myself, it's kind of funny that I just heard this and I'm writing about it. And my only thing I want to bring to the table on the subject of divorce is a big part of my 10, identify what the problem is, 90 is the solution. If you can do that in your relationship, you might not have to end it in divorce. And what I did was, quite frankly, is I begged, I pleaded, and I became less of a man, I guess. I was groveling to stay in the relationship, and it just became very unattractive for the other person, for the ex-spouse, and for me also. I was humiliated after I saw what I did when I went through that period. Just humiliated, because I was like, I didn't behave well at all. So as the years have gone by, people have asked me questions about, how did you handle divorce? And this is what I want to tell you is, I handled it wrong in every single way. I made every single mistake you could possibly imagine when it came to divorce. I tried to find other relationships, and a lot of them, to make me feel better about going through the divorce. That didn't work. I tried to spend money. That didn't work. I tried to spend money I didn't have. That didn't work. Abused drugs and alcohol. That didn't work. Went to go see a doctor to find out what's wrong with me, and realized that I was in a depressed state and not a depressed person, and was medicated. That didn't work. And also complaining to all my friends about how bad life was. It got to a point, folks, where I was miserable to be around, and I knew it, and I didn't want to stick around anymore, just because I was so pathetic and apathetic when it came to how I handled my divorce. And what I want to tell you is this: if you're in the No Comfort Zone Nation, you know what? There's a lot of people listening all over the country now and all over the world. Actually, I noticed. I got Italy, England, Switzerland, the Netherlands. I think I saw, and it's kind of growing, and it's nice to see that with all the statistics I can see. But what I want to tell you is that if you're out there and if you're thinking about a divorce, if you're going through a divorce, or if you're just getting out of one, you need to really understand something, that this is a great opportunity for you to learn a lot about yourself, for you to start taking action now and become the person that you really want to be. Because you might have been living to the ideals and the standards of another person, and whether good or bad, now that's over. Now you need to create the new you. You need to truly be the hero version of yourself. So in a relationship, I realized that I got married too early twice. I've been divorced twice. The first time I was married was to a woman who was old. I was 21, she was 32. We met in the gym, and it was a hot and heavy relationship, and I didn't know any better, and my family was upset at me for actually getting married the way that I did, as fast as I did, and that didn't work out. I jumped from one relationship to another, somebody I worked with. The first relationship was for 4 years. The next relationship was 10. And I really, truly believe that relationship was 10 years because the state of Illinois, maintenance or support is paid to the spouse when you're married for 10 years. So afterwards, I found out, she had mentioned to me, she goes, I think I only loved you for about 2 of the years that we were together. That's fair. And in saying that, and it hurt my feelings, but it also identified something, that for 8 years of the relationship, how didn't I realize that there was no passion in the relationship anymore? How did I not realize that? Yeah, because of the drugs, because of the alcohol, because of work, because of all the excuses, because of not paying attention and all those things. And you know what? It is really, truly the best thing that ever happened to me. I learned so much about myself and my mistakes, and I did it through that person. So as much as I hated going through it, I'm super glad that I went through it, because I now know what I don't want, and I also know what I shouldn't have settled for. And that's all I did, is I kept settling. And you know, it was one of those biggest regrets of my life. But in the same note, how could it be a big regret when now, because of that, all these wonderful things have happened to me? It's because I've changed. And going through this no comfort zone blueprint truly is a step-by-step process that I put myself through. And I hope that you would consider just downloading the blueprint if you're going through a divorce, so you can learn how to cope, so you can learn how to set goals, so you can learn how to deal with the adversity, so you can learn how to grow from this. Because so many people, and this is a true statement, I'm not just making this up because I'm on a podcast, so many people have asked me, Dan, you've been divorced twice, you had a bad run. What did you do, and how did you become successful at getting through the divorce? Well, a coma was the end result. I don't know, and financial ruin, poor relationship with my kids, low self-esteem. So I had to build myself up. And one of the lessons that I told people was stay connected to your friends. And it's so true. I got lonely. I disconnected from my friends. Stay busy. Get out there. Go to grief groups. Connect with other people who are going through similar situations, who have gone through what you've gone through, like me. I mean, it's just stay connected towards the solution. And remember, believe in yourself, because just because it's a divorce doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means things didn't work out. It means that relationship is over and it's time to move on to the next. But the biggest advice that I can give you, if in fact you are going through a divorce and you're getting ready to get out of a divorce, or you've just ended a divorce and now you don't know what to do next, I want to tell you this. You need to check in with yourself. You need to go through a rebuilding period, like for 60 days. Hint, no comfort zone blueprint. But what you really need to do is get off the dating websites. You need to just quit going to the bars. Don't worry, you need to reinvent yourself so that the next relationship you're in, you can be the person that you've always wanted to be for that person and for yourself. Because what I did is I was a serial dater. I was on internet dating websites, and I would constantly be going on dates, sometimes multiple dates in an evening when I lived out in Las Vegas. It's not healthy, it's not good, and I kept getting further and further away from the person I know I could be, the person I know I should be, and quite frankly, the person I know that I wanted to be. It wasn't until a long time after that I realized, you know what, I need to get to know myself. And when I disconnected from relationships, from alcohol, drugs, money, and I focused on my work, and I focused on me, and I focused on the person I wanted to be, it wasn't until that moment, about 60 days, that the ideal person popped into my life, and been married 8 years now, and it is absolutely the best wholesome relationship, passionate relationship I've been in. And yeah, I talked before in other podcasts about how there was lacking passion in my relationship. We have passion in our relationship. What it comes down to is simply this: the passion really wasn't at the level that I wanted it to be at. I know it could be so much greater, so much more, the ideal, right? Why settle for average when it can be great? And my relationship was passionate, but I want it to be so much better. And after 8 years of marriage, I can tell you this: I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about what I deserve and what I want. And my hope is for you, I said I a lot of times, my hope is that you understand that you're worthwhile and you're worth more, but you really need to you really need to get yourself uncomfortable and quit being so needy and quit bitching to everybody about your problems and your complaints, and actually start doing. Go to the gym, eat better, start getting outside by yourself and reflect on where you've been at and where you want to go. Write out some serious goals write out some things about what you want your ideal spouse, your ideal partner, your companion to look and be and do, and all those things. I did, and it worked out very well for me. So my hope to you is this: that you get outside of your comfort zone, get through that divorce you might be going through, or stop the divorce, because you can change who you are and what's going on. But more importantly, get outside of your comfort zone so that you can live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.